The other area they want to keep from us, and this very much relates to the simulation as well, is the nature of reality. They don't want us to know the nature of reality. They want us to think that we're just humans. They want us to, one of two things. They want us to self-identify with the labels of a human life and to believe that that's who we are and all we are. We are a man, a woman, a income bracket, a race, a religion, a sexuality, whatever. That's who we are. What I'm saying is they are experiences that we're having. And the I that's having those experiences is consciousness. Consciousness is what we are. It's what we are eternally. And the body is a vehicle for consciousness to experience this, what is a band of frequency called the human world. And they don't want us to know the nature of the reality that we're experiencing, because if we did, everything would change. So the two things that they want us to believe in, just pick one or the other, is that we are just cosmic accidents who, and this is the basis of mainstream science, of course, even today. We are just cosmic accidents. We live for a few seconds or 100 years or so, and then we disappear and that's it. Well, yeah, okay, well, that sounds scientific to me. And the other side of it is that we are subordinate and constantly judged by some judgmental God. And we are, in terms of Christianity and Islam, we are judged on our eternity, on one human life, which again can last a few seconds or 100 years, and then God judges us. And then you have the Eastern religions where they believe in the reincarnation cycle, where we keep coming into this world to have different experiences, to learn lessons and evolve. And I challenge both of those big time in my books. So what they don't want us to realize is that we are consciousness. We are an aspect, an expression of an infinite state of consciousness, which you can call God, whatever name you want to give it. I call it the infinite. And we're part of that. And if we open our consciousness, open our minds, we can go deeper and deeper and deeper into this infinite state of consciousness. And we can learn more and more. I would not learn more and more. We can know more and more and more and more and more about the reality that we're experiencing and who we are and where we are and all the rest of it. Now,
welcome back to A Right to Know with our amazing guest today, David Icke. So did you notice, and if not, please give it some thought, that there has been for quite some time a battle going on for the control of human perception, your perception. Today, we'll discuss with one of the most influential thought leaders on the planet. Oh, what a topic. And that is, are we living in a technologically generated simulation, a matrix? Today, we welcome back to A Right to Know the icon in the truth movement, who has been serving humanity for nearly 4 decades, a groundbreaking author of over 20 books, master researcher of truth, riveting public speaker in more than 40 countries throughout the world, and truly a global treasure to humanity. And that is, and whom you've all been waiting for, back on A Right to Know, the iconic David Icke. Welcome back, David.
thank you very much. Well, that's quite an intro. Thank you very much.
Hey, well deserved. Well deserved. So, David, we have an amazing topic today, and you are the man to talk about it. So we are also excited, and that is, are we living in a technologically generated simulation, which basically some people call a matrix? But before we go there, I have another question just to ask you, because a lot of the listeners, we hear different comments and things from people, and I want to sort of have you set the tone straight here. I've seen different interviews of, for example, people talking about Alice Bailey, and we know she was about the New World Order. She was about the New Age, about the Age of Aquarius. She was related with the United Nations and her company, which you probably know. It was what was it called? The Luciferian Trust? Luciferius?
Yeah, it became known as the Lucis Trust, I think. Yeah.
Lucis Trust. Okay. So, everyone's saying, hey, did David Icke, does he look up to Alice Bailey? Is that someone he follows? And so let's kind of straighten that out right here. I'm asking you directly. Is there any truth to that, David?
Yeah, well, I'm already losing the will to live. It's kind of extraordinary, really. I've been on this path now for 35 years. I've taken untold abuse, continues to this day, and ridicule. And I've kept going because once you see what's happening in the world and where it's planned to go, there's no walking away. In fact, one of the most bewildering things I've come across is people that come into this arena for a few years, often the flavor of the month for a bit, and then they disappear. You can't disappear once you truly know what's planned and where this is going. You can't look your kids and grandkids in the eye and other kids and grandkids in the eye and walk away. You can't. But having done that, I'm accused of all endless things. Apparently, I'm a Freemason, which I'm not. And they put my head on a Freemason's body. Even pictures from some of my books on the back cover of some of my books. And so he says this proof he's a Freemason. And this Alice Bailey stuff and Blavatsky and all this stuff comes up from time to time. And what I see a lot, and what I see a lot of Christians doing, funnily enough, is equating when you talk about metaphysics with New Age and Alice Bailey and Blavatsky and all these people. Metaphysics is simply looking at the physics of this reality and how that relates to what this reality is. And it's nothing to do with New Age. I mean, if people only read my books, they would see that I'm very vehemently not into the New Age philosophy. I think it's a diversion. It's the kind of Eastern philosophy that came to the West. And everyone to their own. What people believe is perfectly up to them, as long as they don't seek to impose it on everyone else. But it's not something that that is part of my work. In fact, it certainly is not part of my work. I go my own way. I let the evidence be my guide to what I believe is going on and what I say. And I'm not attached to any group. I've always, all my life, had an aversion to groupthink. If there was a group, I didn't want to be part of it. And I'm still like that. I've just passed 72 and I'm still the same. So any groupthink has to be wrong for a start, because I work on the philosophy of wisdom is knowing how little we know. Once you realize how little we actually know, then your mind becomes open to other possibilities, all possibilities, if the evidence is there to support them. Whereas groupthink tends to coagulate and solidify, whether it's a religion or a political belief system or whatever it is, a Blavatsky belief system, New Age belief system. They tend to solidify into a belief system which tends to defend itself from all borders. So if you call yourself a Christian, then there's certain things that you have to believe, otherwise you're not a Christian. If you call yourself a Muslim, there's certain things you have to believe, or you're not a Muslim, and so on and so forth it goes. And I've always rejected that all my life. So any groupthink situation, and I have an immediate aversion to it. And so it's the last thing that I would be involved in.
Wow. Okay. Just, you said it all. And I had some questions. And I've always been that way as well. Had an aversion to groupthink, just born that way. I was brought up, whatever, went to Catholic school, and asked my mom, wait, this doesn't make sense. I have to do what? It doesn't make any sense. Can you explain that? But also when you talk about groupthink, that's a scary thing, right?
Exactly. It's this this need that so many humans seem to have to be part of a group. Maybe it's something to do with tribal DNA. If you were kicked out by the tribe once upon a time, you were in trouble. But I've always been someone that wanted to go my own way. and not, I'll listen to other people. Of course I do. And if it makes sense, well, I'll accept it. And if it doesn't, then I won't. But when someone says to me, this is a set of beliefs, and to be one of us, you have to believe this. Well, I'm sorry. I'll see you later. All the best. I'm not interested, because when you break this down, this reality that we are experiencing, you realize just how little, not only that we know, but how little we can actually see. According to mainstream science, the electromagnetic spectrum, which is basically human reality as we experience it, is 0.005% of what exists in the universe in terms of energy in all its forms. And visible light, which is the only band of frequency that we can see, everything that people are looking at now is within that tiny band of frequency. And it's tiny. It's laughably, ludicrously, ridiculously tiny. And I don't think that's an accident either. It's a smear of the 0.005%. That's all we can see. The entirety of infinite reality is denied our sight senses. It's beyond their ability to decode. And, it's been my contention that children at the earliest age that they are able to grasp the concept, it should be part of the curriculum to explain to them that although they seem to be seeing everything in the space they're looking at, they're only seeing a tiny band of frequency. And infinity, in all its forms and facets and dimensions, exists in the same space they're looking at, but they can only see a part of it. Because suddenly, from that understanding, an enormous amount of so-called paranormal or mysterious things become simply explainable. For instance, when people say, I saw this UFO, and it appeared out of nowhere and then disappeared into nowhere, or they said, say I woke up and there was this non-human entity at the end of the bed and it just came out of nowhere and then disappeared into nowhere. From the human perspective, that is ridiculous and impossible. Indeed, from the scientific, in quotes, perspective, that is ridiculous and impossible. That can't happen. Well, it's the easiest thing to explain in the world. What's happening is when something enters that frequency band of visible light, which is all that the sight senses can decode, it appears to appear out of nowhere. And when it leaves that band of visible light, it appears to disappear into nowhere. But it hasn't disappeared and hasn't just appeared. It's entered your ability to see it. And once you then realize that that's all we can see, and the entirety of the human visible world is within that tiny band of frequency, you find a little bit of humility, to be honest. You find a little bit of humbleness when it comes to how much you think you know. And what happens when you realize how little we know is your mind opens to endless other possibilities which it was previously closed to. You see, one of the greatest ways of manipulating perception is to squeeze the sense of the possible. Because if you can squeeze people's sense of the possible, when people like me come out and say, this is happening and this is happening, if it's outside the realm of the perceived possible, it will be dismissed by reflex action. Oh, that's ridiculous. That can't happen. That's impossible. But it's not impossible. It's your perception that believes it's impossible. And what's impossible and your belief of what's impossible are not the same thing, fully enough. And so if you're going to uncover what is happening or uncover more of what's happening, then a mind that is not padlocked and locked into some groupthink belief system or any immovable, unquestionable belief system, it's imperative. You cannot go down this road credibly if you have a belief system that is immovable. And so, what I see, for instance, in what's called the alternative media is, especially now, it's been hijacked by an unfortunate myopia in terms of its most promoted people. You see the domination of what's called right-wing politics and Christianity. Now, how people vote is up to them, none of my business. What people believe in terms of their religion is none of my business. But if you are claiming to be a seeker of truth, a seeker of what the hell is happening, then if you've got two belief systems, one is the right of politics and the other one is Christianity, that are immovable, then that immediately means that there are great areas that you will not go into in terms of research.
By design.
Because your belief system, if you do so, could be under question. So you don't go there. And so where I'm coming from, and it's one of the reasons that I absolutely don't get involved in groupthink, is that I'm open to all possibility, but not any possibility that is supportable by the evidence that's available. And that takes you, if you go down that road, it takes you into some very strange places that actually they are not challenging or even questioning, but let's say they are at odds with almost every other belief system in the world. They're at odds with virtually every single religion, whether it's Christianity or Judaism or Islam or Hinduism, whatever, the Eastern religions. It's at odds with them. And it's at odds with every political belief system. And it's at odds with every cultural belief system, or most of them. And that's where you go, because instead of going down a road where you're seeking to uncover what's going on and saying, that's a no-go area because my belief system will be under threat in terms of my religion. That's a no-go area because that's not my politics will be under question. That's a no-go area because my cultural belief system will be on. All the time, I've described it as like going down a freeway, and there's all these slip roads off the freeway that are trying to get you to go off the freeway. But if you keep going and you say everything is to be questioned, everything is not out of bounds, it's there to be looked at, and I'm not going to censor myself because of some previous belief I had. If you can show me, or the evidence shows me that my belief was not correct, then I'll go with that, because I just want to know the truth. I have no immovable connection to any previous belief. What that does then is you start to fly, and so many things start to open up to you in terms of understanding reality that groupthink belief systems, they're many and various kinds, would have stopped you getting there. Because once you go down this road, I tell you from experience, every single belief system starts to come under question, all of them.
And may I also interject with entrenched in the educational system? Oops, can't talk about that, says the teacher. I'd get fired. The kids don't even know who Nikola Tesla is. I mean, they're kind of learning now, but it's just, so this is how you keep people in the box, right, David Icke? We want to
Yeah,
keep people in the box, and we're talking around about and the matrix and this technologically, this way of control, right? So we've got this box, and we've got to keep people's minds in this box because we can't let them think outside of the box because then we wouldn't be able to control them. Ooh, that wouldn't work. So you addressed exactly my thoughts. There are certain religions that are like, ooh, don't go there. That's evil. That's Lucifer. No, I'm not supporting any of that. I love humanity. I love Mama Earth. I care, just like you've been doing for decades, David Icke, caring about humanity. We got to think outside of the box. And anyway, and it's been entrenched in all the different systems. That is so true. So I want to segue here, and we're already discussing this to some level, but so many of us are like, okay, so to keep us in the box and to not let us think outside of the box and not let us go off those little branches of roads that you mentioned with our minds and discovering, because there's so much more that we don't, I mean, yeah, we don't have junk DNA. It's just they can't analyze it past a certain point. And what happens if that gets activated, and what might activate that? But and do the guys that run the planet, the autocrats, the narcissistic psychopaths, the globalists, the cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, are those guys who can't fully be, I don't know, sometimes I wonder, human, the way they don't care about humanity, just themselves. But in any event, it's like, are they the ones creating this simulation, this matrix, to keep us in this so-called box? So
yeah. I mean, I'll go into the simulation in a second. I can talk about it in great detail. I've been researching it for long enough. But just on the point you made about the education system, we live in a human world, yeah, okay. But there's two worlds. There's the world of what I call the global cult. There's a global network of secret societies, where the inner core knows the big picture, and the further you go down the degrees in the secret societies, the less you know. And then there's the general population. And the difference between the cult world and the population world is knowledge. The idea is that the secret societies are secret for a reason. It's to keep things secret from the population. And so there's two major areas that they want to keep from us. First of all is where humanity is being taken. They want us to think that events in the world are random and they're not coordinated. And they present them to us like that, when they're absolutely coordinated. But the other area they want to keep from us, and this very much relates to the simulation as well, is the nature of reality. They don't want us to know the nature of reality. They want us to think that we're just humans. They want us to, one of two things. They want us to self-identify with the labels of a human life and to believe that that's who we are and all we are. We are a man, a woman, a income bracket, a race, a religion, a sexuality, whatever. That's who we are. What I'm saying is they are experiences that we're having. And the I that's having those experiences is consciousness. Consciousness is what we are. It's what we are eternally. And the body is a vehicle for consciousness to experience this, what is a band of frequency, called the human world. And they don't want us to know the nature of the reality that we're experiencing, because if we did, everything would change. So the two things that they want us to believe in, just pick one or the other, is that we are just cosmic accidents who, and this is the basis of mainstream science, of course, even today. We are just cosmic accidents. We live for a few seconds or 100 years or so, and then we disappear, and that's it. Well, yeah, okay, well, that sounds scientific to me. And the other side of it is that we are subordinate and constantly judged by some judgmental God, And we are, in terms of Christianity and Islam, we are judged on our eternity, on one human life, which again can last a few seconds or 100 years, and then God judges us. And then you have the Eastern religions where they believe in the reincarnation cycle, where we keep coming into this world to have different experiences, to learn lessons and evolve. I challenge both of those big time in my books. So what they don't want us to realize is that we are consciousness. We are an aspect, an expression of an infinite state of consciousness, which you can call God, whatever name you want to give it. I call it the infinite. And we're part of that. And if we open our consciousness, open our minds, we can go deeper and deeper and deeper into this infinite state of consciousness. And we can learn more and more. I would not learn more and more. We can know more and more and more and more and more about the reality that we're experiencing and who we are and where we are and all the rest of it. Now, this global cult doesn't want us to do that. It wants to hold our attention. This is the point, attention, in this human reality, so that this is all we ever perceive. And attention is a very important aspect of this. You control perception by controlling attention. For instance, I'm looking now in this room and I can see the room. Now, if I focus my attention on my finger, the room has disappeared. All I can see is that. And that's basically the principle of human control. It's focusing our attention on a myopia of reality. And if you, for instance, look at the religions and you look at political belief systems and all the rest of it, cultural belief systems, they are, in their own way, focuses of attention. So if you are a Muslim, your focus of attention is everything Muslim. Anything outside of that, well, that's wrong, because it's outside of the Muslim belief system. These are focuses of attention. And if you go through and let go of this self-identity, what's self-identity? It's a state of attention. This is who I am. If you let go of the self-identity that we are just human and the labels of a human life, and transfer your self-identity to I am consciousness, ultimately all consciousness having a brief human experience, everything changes, because you're not living in a world of myopia anymore and solidified belief system. You are suddenly not only open to all possibility, you are tapping in to greater and greater swathes of all possibility. Because when you focus your attention on little me, this is all I am, I'm just a human, what power do I have? That attention, that perception, squeezes the amount of awareness, consciousness that you're actually tapping into. Becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
Little me belief system becomes little me life. But once you, and therefore you are tapping into very small areas of potential consciousness and awareness. And people in that mode, therefore, look outside of themselves to get a fix on the world. And what do they look to? Journalists, politicians, doctors, scientists, academics, to tell them what to think, teachers. Whereas when you
and they're all puppets.
Find your self-identity to I am consciousness, that expanded self-identity expands the swathes of consciousness you're tapping into, and suddenly you can see things you couldn't see before. I've had people say to me, this is what they call awakening, what I'm describing. And I've heard people say to me, mate, it's so obvious. Why couldn't I see it before? Because you were there before. And now you're here, and now you can see it. And it's this awakening this expansion of consciousness into the greater consciousness so that we access more and more of its knowledge, awareness, wisdom, love. That's what the box is there to stop. That's why what is the box? It's a perceptual box. And you're absolutely right. If you look at this cult, it created the human education system. If you look at the American education system alone,
we're so lost in this matrix that us knowing the true nature of reality, it cannot do such good, people. We're so deep. It's deep. Right now, it's election time in Jamaica, and people are so crazy, people. It's not majority, because it's 38% voted in the last selection, quote unquote, election. So, clearly, some people are wising up, some people are resisting, but we still have some crazy people. People fill the streets with politicians making promises, giving them false realities, speaking on the true nature of reality. That's what these politicians be giving people all over the years. False reality. Many continue to fight, support it, fight for it. They call themselves what? Die-hearted. Crazy people. So, of course, they want to limit our thinking. They want to limit our knowledge base. So, it's imperative, ultra important, that we always put ourselves in a place of thinking, seeking, searching deeper and deeper and deeper with everything, people, with everything. That's the only thing we can do. That's the bare minimum we can do. Search, real search, deep dive, all the above. Because we all want to find the true nature of reality, people. How we are here, why we are here, what created this, who created this, what's the purpose. We all want those answers. We all seek those answers. It's only human nature. It's only human nature, people, that we would want to find out. Our inception process. It's only natural. And speaking of the devils, here are some of them in the JLP political bus. Joke. Making up false numbers in their false reality. It's crazy out here, people. Election time on next week, week after next Wednesday. We're already in this week, so next week Wednesday. So it's crazy times out, people. In my parts of the world, it's crazy times. So I'm just bracing myself for what's to come. Yeah. Under this rulership, under this so-called leadership control, you have to hear these guys speak and utter their nonsense time after time. But we keep on going, people. We keep on fighting. As what I said earlier, people are waking up, because majority of the Jamaican politicians did not vote and they are not interested in none of these political embezzlers. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. And we embrace that. We embrace that, people. So we keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on gathering like-minded people. Keep on building a community. We can reason, we can talk. Because, whoa, it's highly depressing, this world, people. Highly depressing. Especially when I caught in this survival matrix. Rat race. Crazy. Crazy people. So, go on, push on.